G'day guys, it's time for another one of Maxie's blogs. Today I'm very lucky to be joined by none other than Kholi. Virat, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome, Maxie.
Pretty big summer for yourself. You haven't spent a lot of time off the field. Have you enjoyed your time in Australia this year?
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic this time around, you know, with playing and traveling, playing in different time zones. We haven't had time off too much this time. But I always try and go out in Australia. I love the country, I love the vibe, I like the people here as well. So yeah, I love Australia, I love coming here.
Which brings me to another question. What do you sort of do in your time off while you're here? Because obviously it's a little bit different in India. You're allowed to sort of get out a bit more and probably don't have that attention like you do in India. But what's it like in Australia?
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, as I said, I like to go around, you know, just walk by myself, be a normal person. You know how hectic in India things can be, and I just like to stay away from all the attention, you know, most of my time, and just relax by myself. If I don't have friends who want to do the same thing as me, I just stroll about, you know, by myself, and I really enjoy doing that.
How do you look back at your one-day series as a team and as an individual as well? Obviously you made a lot of runs yourself and Rohit. How do you look back on that?
Well, yeah, it was pretty, you know, sad to lose the series, but obviously you guys played much better than us, I believe. I don't think we played bad cricket at all. It was just, you know, about capitalizing those important moments, which you guys were pretty good at. And I think our bowling was pretty inexperienced as well. So, you know, maybe that could have been a factor. But you could say the same thing for the T20s as well. You guys obviously do have players who are not that experienced in the format yet, playing at the international level. They have played Big Bash and stuff like that, but, you know, international level is a different thing altogether. So we have guys who are more experienced. So exactly, you know, the point I made about the ODI series, we are capitalizing the moments better in the shorter format, and which is working for us at the moment.
Just wanted to talk about the earlier days. You've obviously been lucky enough to share a dressing with none other than Sachin Tendulkar. Talk us through about his influence on your career in the early days and how he helped you start your career in the way you did.
Well, it's been massive. I mean, I started playing cricket because of him. I got inspired to do, you know, things that he did for the country. And I always visualized myself in those situations, and yeah, I was lucky enough to be a part of the same change room when I was starting, and he was still around, and, you know, he really helped me with little things that I could improve in my game. If he saw something, he would come up to me himself and tell me, you know, this is something that you can work on, which is quite rare. I mean, you don't have people of his stature, you know, come and talk to youngsters like that, pointing out things in your game. So he always gave you confidence. I've batted with him a few times as well. We've had big partnerships, and that for me is the most special thing, you know, I could have asked for. And he's such a gentleman. You know him as well. You've known him personally, and he's always willing to help the youngsters. And I was lucky enough to be around when you know, he was still playing.
Makes it pretty easy to start your international career with a guy like that around, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of the Australian fans love about you is your ability to get under the opposition's skin. One bloke in particular, James Faulkner. Tell us a little bit about your tussle with him, because I think everyone's loved watching it. Everyone thinks you're going about exactly the right way with a smile on your face. Just tell us a bit about the background of that.
Yeah, well, James and me have been, you know, always at each other whenever we played. And you know, James likes to talk as well, a lot on the field. And yeah, it's been pretty much been friendly banter, to be honest. There've been no swearing, no bad words, you know, nothing of anything inappropriate being said. It's all the way being friendly banter, and I've really enjoyed it. I mean, you know, just having a laugh with him as well. Last game he picked me up, and you know, that was sweet of him. So he's competitive, which I like, and I like to be competitive on the field as well. So yeah, it's been enjoyable. I'm glad he came out and gave me a fight.
Where's that fiery edge come from? Has that sort of been right through your upbringing, or is it just something that happened when you got to international level and you thought, I've got to raise my game as well?
I think it's always been there somewhere inside me. I think it comes from the family, pretty much. My father was a Leo, so he was a fighter himself, you know, believed in himself a lot as well. So I think it comes a bit from the family, plus growing up in the Delhi system, the cricket system. It wasn't easy to come up, so you always had to fight your way up the system, and that makes you mentally tougher. You know, when you're young, you're growing up, you want to score in every game, and that makes you mentally tougher. You stop worrying about the things around you and the people around you, and you just focus on what you have to do. So I think it's a combination of everything. And when I came to the international level, I always believed that I want the opposition to get me out. You know, I don't want to be just another player in the 11. I want to be the guy that they want to get out as quickly as possible. So that was always my mindset, and I think all those things combined together, and they help you do what you can do on the field.
I think one of the greatest things about the modern game at the moment is the IPL and the chance to play with so many different players from around the world. How do you reckon that's helped with your on-field banter as well, having known these guys from a tournament in your home country, but also having played with a lot of the guys as well? You've got obviously Starkey and Maddo in the Bangalore team, and you would have played with other guys as well.
Yep. I think it's a great opportunity for young players, firstly, to play with the international stars. I mean, you came to the IPL before you played for Australia, and you know how it is to be talking to people who you would never imagine to play alongside with. And secondly, I think it helps us to do what we're doing now. We get to know each other very well. If I didn't know Starkey, I would never know what a sweet guy he is. So
softie. He's an absolute softie.
Yeah, he's a wonderful human being. So you form perceptions without knowing people, and I think IPL helps you lift those boundaries and actually be friends with people who you play against as well, not just people who you play alongside. So I think it's just making people more fond of each other. They're creating strong bonds. Still, people are competitive on the field because strengths and weaknesses as well. So I think it's just made the game more competitive, I think.
Correct, and I think that's more the white line fever that we're basically talking about. As soon as you cross that white line, you're still going hard at each other, but there's still that respect off the field as well. Virat, I want to do something quite quick now. We're going to go to the quick fire questions, which is a bit of fun. First one, Netflix and chill or movies?
Movies.
Red Bull or White Ball?
Red Bull.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Runners or thongs?
Thongs.
Melbourne or Sydney? This is controversial.
Sydney.
All right, we're cutting it right there. Reverse sweep or switch hit?
I could play none, so I guess you should answer that one.
Reverse sweep. Warren or Murali?
Warren.
Sachin or Lara?
Sachin.
Pretty simple one at the end. Virat, thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully it gives some of the cricket.com.au supporters a bit of an insight to what Virat's like and why everyone seems so aggro on the field but so good off it. So thanks very much for joining me.
Cheers, Maxie.
Hope everyone enjoyed. Cheers.